Okay, we are going to start Chapter 2, Basic Object Construction, Dynamic Input, AutoCAD. Some of the learning objectives: you're going to learn to reference a world coordinate system. You're going to learn how to set up a startup box, dialog box, which is where you're going to get it into metric or imperial. Grid and snap intervals, you did that in Chapter 1. You're going to learn a little more on there. Toolbars, AutoCAD's toolbars. This is an invaluable asset. You're going to learn how to set up the object snap toolbar and how it works. And then how to trim and polygon TTR circles and tangent lines. So the first step is actually setting up a page. You start off by understanding the difference between dynamic mode and it turned on and off. You'll know if you're in dynamic mode when you start typing, let's say line. You'll see it appear down here is where it'll appear. That means dynamic mode is off. Also, if you have this icon right here, you'll see it's white. That means it's off. If you hit F12, you'll see it turn on. And the way you also know it's on is if you start typing line, you'll notice that it will appear right next to the cursor. Okay. So that's for this exercise, you'll want dynamic input on. Now, the rocker arm design. This is what you're going to be drawing, and we're going to take a closer look at this. If you look at this drawing, you'll notice all these dimensions have whole numbers: 25, 20, 40, 70, no decimal points. So right there, that's telling me this object you're going to be drawing is in millimeters and in metric. You don't have 6.3 inches, etc. So this is going to be a drawing in millimeters. Alright, first thing is to put this into metric then. And the way you do it is you type in startup. Hit that, and if you look over here, there's 4 choices for startup: 0, 1, 2, or 3. The default is 0, as you see. What we're going to want is to create a new drawing dialog box. So we want the option 1. So I'm going to type in 1, hit enter. Now, the way you get this to go again is you actually close AutoCAD, say no to save the drawing, and then open AutoCAD. And it is going to start off with this box right here. And if you look, it says you need to start from scratch, which is this second one right here. See where it says start from scratch? You're going to click that, and it'll give you the choice of feet and inches under imperial or metric. We're going to select metric, press OK. AutoCAD will continue loading, and we will be ready to draw our drawing here. As we scroll down, since we know this is a metric drawing, the first thing you need to change is make sure you have your menu bar there. If you don't, you select right here. Right here it'll say show menu bar, but I have mine up. You go to format and you go to units. You look to see if it says millimeter. Don't click it, just see if it says millimeter. And of course, you remember the drawing there had no decimal points, so you want to set up 0 decimal points. Push OK, and that part is set up. I like to have my grid on, so my graph paper in the background. The next thing you want to do is turn on dynamic input, which we did. And remember, we know by the command being right next to the cursor. Next is snap settings. You remember decimals are in a base 10. So right next to snap mode, you want to click that arrow, go to snap settings, make sure it says 10, 10, and then you want a 2D model space, which is a whole bunch of dots every 10 millimeters away. You push OK, it'll change it to dots, and we're good to go there. Next is set up the page. Where they want to set up the page is -200 for the X and -150 for the lower left, and the upper right is going to be 200, 150. So you go to Format, and you can go Drawing Limits, and it'll ask for the lower left corner. And the answer was -200, comma, -150, enter. And then it's going to say the upper corner, which you're going to do 200, comma, 150. Now, if you think about that, that went 200 over and 150 up for the upper right, and then 200 to the left and 150 down for the lower left. So if you do zoom, extents, it's going to put the cursor right in the middle. If this cursor does not go to the middle, you might want to right button click on it, icon setting, and make sure this check mark says show UCS icon at origin. Okay, and mine does. So it's right at the origin. That means the page goes from down here in negative to up here in positive. That's the whole page. That's how you set up the page.